My name is Dr. Adebola Oluyinka Ajiboye from Department of Aquaculture and Fisheries Management, University of Ibadan, Nigeria. I'll be speaking on unprocessed dry leaves of Mucuna, utilis, and Vernonia amygdalina, impacts on racing fish sales in indoor hatchery. Sustainable and stable production of fish larvae requires diet that will enhance efficient nutrient utilization and growth performance of fish. Mucuna utilis and Vernonia amygdalina have been used for medicinal purposes and as diets for aquatic organisms. Major constraints militating fish production across the globe are unavailability and high cost of essential fish feed ingredients and commercial feeds. Hence, this study was designed to investigate the effect of different levels of unprocessed dry leaves of Mucuna utilis and Vernonia amygdalina on hematology, histology, nutrient utilization, and growth performance of Clarias carapenus. The materials and methods for this study are as follows. Fish was stocked at 15 fish per treatment and replicated thrice. Fish meal was replaced with unprocessed dry leaves of Mucuna utilis and unprocessed dry leaves of Vernonia amygdalina at different graded levels. That is 0%, 25%, 50%, 75%, and 100%. Water quality parameters were monitored using standard methods, growth parameters, hematology, histology of vital organs were determined and studied according to standard procedures. The data obtained were analyzed using ANOVA and Docker multiple range test was used to separate the means. Feed were also formulated using different graded levels of unprocessed dry leaves of Mucuna utilis and unprocessed dry leaves of Vernonia amygdalina. The grounded leaves of M. utilis and V. amygdalina leaves were used to compound experimental diets for the fish. The mixture of the grounded leaves and feed ingredients were moistened with warm water and were pelletized into 2 mm fish pellets using localized fabricated pelleting machine. The pellets were sun-dried and stored inside a tight container. At the same time, the qualitative and the quantitative properties of unprocessed dry leaves of Mucuna utilis and unprocessed dry leaves of Vernonia amygdalina were also determined. And flavonoids, alkaloids, saponins, tannins, hydrogen cyanides, and phenols were discovered in these 2 leaves. The nutrient utilization and growth performance of Clarias carapenus fed different levels of unprocessed dry leaves of Mucuna utilis and Vernonia amygdalina is shown on the screen. The mean weight gain of 0% was significantly higher than other treatments. The specific growth rate recorded in 0% varied significantly compared to other level of inclusions fed experimental diet. The feed conversion ratio, the FCR, of fish fed unprocessed dry leaves of Mucuna utilis and unprocessed dry leaves of Vernonia amygdalina had the highest value in 50% level of inclusion. Also, the hematology response of Clarias carapenus fed different levels of unprocessed dry leaves of Mucuna utilis and unprocessed dry leaves of Vernonia amygdalina is also shown on the screen. The packed cell volume, the PCV, showed a significant value at 25% level of inclusion. The hemoglobin showed significant relationship among the treatments fed 0%, 25%, and 75% levels of unprocessed dry leaves of Mucuna utilis and unprocessed dry leaves of Vernonia amygdalina. The red blood cell counts had a significant value at 75% level of inclusion. White blood cell counts vary significantly at 100% level of inclusion. The highest significant value of platelets was also obtained at 100% level of inclusion. On the screen, figure 1 shows cross-section of skin of fish fed 100% unprocessed dry leaves of Mucuna utilis and unprocessed dry leaves of Vernonia amygdalina. On the screen, the figure shows the swelling of club and epidermal cells of the skin of fish that were fed at 100% level of inclusions of unprocessed dry leaves of Mucuna utilis and unprocessed dry leaves of Vernonia amygdalina. Following that figure is figure 2, which shows the cross-section of the kidney of the fish. And this shows the degeneration of tubular epithelial cells occurred in the kidneys of fish fed 75% level of unprocessed dry leaves of Mucuna utilis and unprocessed dry leaves of Vernonia amygdalina. The third figure is the cross-section of the liver of the fish. And this shows moderate atrophy of hepatic plates and diffuse swelling of hepatocytes in the liver of fish fed 75% level of unprocessed dry leaves of Mucuna utilis and unprocessed dry leaves of Vernonia amygdalina. The next is figure 4, which shows the cross-section of the liver of the fish fed 100% unprocessed dry leaves of Mucuna utilis and unprocessed dry leaves of Vernonia amygdalina. This figure shows moderate atrophy of hepatic plates and diffuse swelling of hepatocytes of liver of fish fed 100% level of unprocessed dry leaves of Mucuna utilis and unprocessed dry leaves of Vernonia amygdalina. In conclusion, in this study, values obtained shows that increased level of unprocessed dry leaves of Mucuna utilis and unprocessed dry leaves of Vernonia amygdalina across the table and presence of anti-nutritional factor in the diet fed to the fish decreased the nutrient utilization and growth performance and dysfunction of liver and kidney of Clarias gariepinus. Thank you very much.